Hello everyone. Today, me and my group will talk about Indonesian culture, foods, and tourism. Indonesia is the most affluent country in culture and tourism. With such extraordinary natural charm, many entrepreneurs are interested in managing places in Indonesia as tourist attraction. From historical tours such as museum, educational tours such as smart parks, cultural tours such as in Bali, until nature and underwater tourism. The territory of Indonesia is very wide, so there are a lot of beautiful natural attractions that can be found in Indonesia. For example, the sea, island, and mountains are no less a concern for many people to visit. Indonesia's geographical area stretches from Sabang in the west to Merauke in the east. Thousands of islands ranging from Sumatra, Java, Kalimantan, Sulawesi, Papua, and thousands of other islands. On these islands reside hundreds of ethnic groups with their cultural diversity. There are Javanese, Sundanese, Batak, Acehnese, Maluku, Balinese, Asmat, and many more. If we talk about Indonesia culture, then of course time will not run out to discuss it because our country is indeed famous as one of the country with cultural diversity. In our country, if we want to count it, there will be hundreds of tribes, each of which has a different culture, both in terms of traditional clothing, language, dance, food, weapons, and many other aspects. What is clear is that so many cultures exist in Indonesia that we cannot count them on the fingers. Each ethnic group has a unique culture and is different from one another. This cultural diversity makes Indonesia very unique. No wonder many foreigners come to Indonesia to learn Indonesian culture. This is proof that the local culture is not inferior in quality to the culture that comes from the West. So, should we lose to foreigners who are so enthusiastic about knowing the local culture in Indonesia, while we are busy studying Western culture and forgetting our own culture? Some Indonesian culture have also been worldwide, such as batik, wayang, angklung, salmon dance, and many others. This is because many of our culture are very interesting, not inferior to tourism. Several tourism objects in Indonesia have also been recognized in the world's eyes. Regional culture will continue to live and develop if we, as the owner of the culture, cares. If the culture owner is indifferent and doesn't care, sooner or later, the local culture will undoubtedly disappear. Therefore, we as a part of Indonesia should know and learn the cultural heritage of our ancestors and be proud of tourism objects in Indonesia. So, guys, on this occasion, please allow us to explain something about culture, foods, and tourism in Indonesia.
Talking about Indonesian culture is the entire culture, local culture, culture of origin that exists in Indonesia before Indonesia independence in 1945. Indonesian culture can also be interpreted that has various ethnic group and culture, such as traditional house, dance, folk songs, and many more. Indonesian culture does not only include native culture, but it is also includes that have been influenced by Indian, Chinese, Arabic, and European culture. And regional culture is reflected in various aspects of people lives in Indonesia. At least each own region their own distinct characteristic. There are many different culture in Indonesia like traditional house, dance, folk song, and many more. Okay, now I will tell you some. Number one is traditional house. Traditional houses are very various because Indonesia is very rich in ethnicity and culture. Because of that, Indonesia has many types of traditional house. If calculated based on their province, at least there are 34 of traditional house. For example, like the traditional Gadang house from West Sumatra, Limas from South Sumatra, Joglo from Java, and many more. However, each province even has more than one of traditional house. Number two is traditional dance. Indonesian traditional dance is reflect the richness and diversity of Indonesian ethnic groups and culture. Dance usually use it for welcome guests, commemorate certain days or events. Even in Indonesia, they use it for religious rituals. Indonesia have own special dance and more than 700 ethnic groups that can be seen from the culture of Austronesian and Melanesian people. The traditional dance is influenced by neighboring country in Asia and even the influence from European which is absorbed through colonization. The traditional dance in each region in Indonesia has own special dance. There are more than 3,000 special dance in Indonesia. Dance and drama are practiced in studio and school that are protected by the palace and government art academies. Number three is language. Indonesia has 718 language and Indonesian language is the official national language. Consisting of many islands, Indonesia has many regional languages such as Javanese, Batak, Betawi, Bugis language, and many more. Although it is understood and spoken by more than 90% of Indonesians, people in Indonesia are not use first language for the mother tongue like Javanese is use it Javanese language and so on. Number four is traditional music songs. Traditional music songs or folk songs or regional songs are chants and are sung by the people and area. Folk song can be said to be similar to national songs, but it is only regional, not to be national. Folk song, the example is Ampan Parvisang from South Kalimantan, Angin Mamiri from South Sulawesi, Bubi Bulan from West Java, and many more. As we know, Indonesia has various ethnicity and culture. That makes Indonesia has even more than folk songs. And the culture is Indonesia is very much they sang it from generation to generation and sang it from time to time.
Indonesia is not only famous for this cultural richness, however, its culinary wealth also spread from Sabang to Merauke. Not even a few traditional food typical of the Indonesian region are well known to origin country. This traditional food is made from special ingredients that may only be found in that region, so that makes the food unique and has its own uniqueness. In this occasion, I will give some example of this food diversity. 1. Milkfish satay. Milkfish satay is a typical food from the province of Banten. You can get this food easily at the Banten market, or you can also find it in the food stall there. This food is very disinfectant because it's so different from satay in general. If satay is usually made from chicken, goat, or rabbit meat, this made from milkfish which is soft without bones. The ingredients that will complement the milkfish satay are delicious coconut milk and brown sugar. Number 2, rendang. The next food is from West Sumatra. This food is called rendang. This food is indeed very famous because not only because of its region origin, but indeed rendang is one of the most delicious food in the world. According to the international version of CNN, you can find this food in typical Padang restaurant or in other places that do provide a typical Padang menu. Rendang is made from beef cooked with a lot of spice so that it tastes very delicious and strong. Number 3, pempek. Pempek is typical food from South Sumatra, which is now widely sold in various regions in Indonesia. This food is indeed very delicious because it's made from sagu and fish which will then be served with a sauce of water. Brown sugar, chili, onion, salt, ebi shrimp, and little vinegar. Pempek is very delicious and savory because it feels chewy and also the smell of fish is very strong. Number 4, egg crust. Who doesn't know egg crust? It's typical Betawi food from Jakarta. Tastes really good. Egg crust is a food native to the Jakarta Betawi area. With the ingredients of white glutinous rice, chicken or duck egg, dry roast, marinade shrimp, plus fried shallots, the given mashed spice in the from roasted coconut, red chili, aromatic, ginger, ground pepper, salt, and sugar. Egg crust can be found on weekday. You can find egg crust around Kota Tua, West Jakarta according to history. Egg crust has excited since Dutch colonial era. Egg crust was created by Betawi people. Number 5, Bangka noodles. Bangka Belitung province is also one of province that has very delicious special food in the world. If you are in Bangka Belitung, you must try the food which is often called Bangka noodles. This food is made from the basic ingredients of wet yellow noodles, which are seasoned with a very delicious mixture of fish, crab, squid, shrimp. After that, vegetables such as beans, sprouts, cucumbers, scallion, cracker, and fried onion will be added. The taste of this food is very distinctive and tastes good.
I'm Mayumi Omita Indahsari, and now I'm going to talk about Indonesian tourism or Indonesian destination. Indonesia is a huge country in both population and land area with significant cultural and geological diversity. International tourism campaigns have been focusing largely on its tropical destination with white sand, beaches, blue sky, and cultural attractions. Some popular tourist destinations, especially Bali Island, as the primary destination. While Bali is usually the destination most familiar to foreign visitors, there is a wealth of other top tourist attractions in Indonesia to discover in this vast and varied country. Now, I want to mention the destination of Indonesia. The first is Gunung Bromo, or Mountain Bromo, is an active volcano in East Java. It is not the highest peak on the massif, but it is the most well-known. The area is one of the most visited tourist attractions in Indonesia and Java. The top of the volcano has been blown off, and the crater inside constantly belches white smoke. It is surrounded by the sea of sand of fine volcanic sand. The overall effect is unsettlingly unearthly. The next is Bunaken. Bunaken, located at the north of the island of Sulawesi. Bunaken is one of Indonesia's most famous popular dive and snorkeling areas. The island is part of the Bunaken Marine Park, where you can see more than 70% of all fish species that live in Western Pacific Ocean. The best time for diving in the Bunaken in between the month of April and November. The next is Tanjung Puting National Park. Tanjung Puting National Park is located on the island of Borneo in the Indonesian province of Central Kalimantan. The park is a popular ecotourism destination with many local tour companies offering multi-day boat tours to view wildlife and visit the research centers. Wildlife includes gibbons, macaws, clouded leopards, sun bears, pitons, crocodiles, and most famously, orangutans. The next is Lombok, Lombok's most popular tourist destination. The Gili Islands are an archipelago of 3 small islands. Gili Trawangan, Gili Meno, and Gili Air are very relaxed and laid back with countless little beachside cafes still playing reggae and no cars or no motorbikes to disturb the peace. The next is Komodo National Park. The Komodo National Park is a national park located within the Lesser Sunda Islands that includes the 3 largest islands, Komodo, Padar, and Rinca, and 26 smaller ones. The world's largest living reptile that can reach in 3 meters or more in length and weight over 70 kilograms. All the dragons, Komodo dragon, its caracas and they eat animals. They are formidable predators and will also hunt prey including birds and mammals. Attacks against humans are very rare. The next is Borobudur. Borobudur, located 40 kilometers northwest of Yogyakarta and Java. Borobudur is one of the most famous Buddhist temples in the world. The Borobudur was built by the Kingdom of Sailendra out of the estimated 2 million blocks of stone. It was abounded in the 14th century for reasons that still remain a mystery and for centuries lay hidden in the jungle under layers of volcanic ash. Today, it is one of the most popular tourist attractions in Indonesia. The next is Ubud. Present among stunning tourist rice field, Ubud is considered the cultural heart of Bali and one of the top tourist attractions in Indonesia. There are dance and music performances every day throughout the city as well as numerous art galleries and craft shops to explore. Although Ubud has long been valued as a great place to learn about Balinese culture, tourism in Ubud boomed exponentially in the last decades. Fortunately, it only takes a short walk, a bicycle ride to escape from the crowds and yes, consumerism. Indonesia has a very beautiful natural wealth. Because of its natural beauty, that Indonesia has become a tourist destination that is much coveted by both local and international travelers from around the world. So, come and visit to enjoy a variety of natural beauty that exists in Indonesia and make it as a tourist destination. Thank you.
Overall, Indonesia has so many things to explore, especially for Indonesian people themselves. Before we explore the world, we should love and explore our cultures, food, and tourism. We could learn about our traditional things in our place first. Maybe if you are in Banten, you guys can visit and learn more about suku Baduy. Or if you in Yogyakarta, you could explore special culinary from Yogyakarta like gudeg, Bahjah, and more. I'm sure that you would never boring in Indonesia because you have so many tourism places to visit. If you love to visit the sea, you could visit Lombok. If you love to visit a historical place, you could visit Borobudur. If you like to diving and snorkeling, you could visit Bunaken. If you're curious about animal, you could visit Tanjung Puting National Park. As I said before, you will never boring here, because I can say that Indonesia have limitless tourism place. Instead of trying visiting and learning about our tourism place, food and cultures, we also have to make sure that it will not become extinct. When we visiting any place in Indonesia, we need to keep the environment natural and clean before we leave the place. We need to learn the recipe of our traditional food and try to cook it. And we also need to teach our next generation about our cultures because if not us, who else can pass it on to our next generation later? We need to make sure that they can still eat our traditional food, they can visit our tourism place as same as before, and they can still know about our cultures. The points from me and all of my friends have been explained is, as Indonesian people, let's be more pride and love about our cultures, food and tourism. The method is by visiting, keeping and preserve our cultures, food and tourism place, so it will not become extinct later. Thank you.